Hey there everybody, Gideon's Tactical here. Welcome to another episode. I am very pumped to give you this offering from Ontario Knife Company, give you a full in-depth field test and tabletop review for you today. This is the Ontario TAC 1. Give you some quick specs and we're going to jump right into it here. We got a total weight of 10 ounces. We have a total length of 10 inches. We have an actual blade cutting length, okay, so from that tip to where the edge ends right there of 4.5 inches. It is 0.19 inches thick. Micarta scales, lanyard hole, and nylon sheath that we will get into there. You can get this plain edge or serrated. Those are the basic specs for you, full flat grind. All right, let's go ahead and jump on into this baby. I got to tell you, I am totally digging this knife. This is actually, for this size, right now, one of my favorite knives on the market. Really blew me away. I was kind of, I don't know how it's going to work out for me. But after using it a couple times on a couple different excursions out in the wilderness, I am totally pumped for this particular blade. And I'm definitely going to hold on to this probably for the rest of my life. I just really, really dig this particular knife here. This model is the now discontinued D2 steel. I got it on the secondary market. The D2 steel has held up really well. I'm going to talk a lot more just about the knife design, because now you can only get it in 1095 is what they're producing it in, which is still great steel, made here in the USA by Ontario Knife Company, Ontario, USA. But the D2 steel has held up really well for me, but I'm not really talking a lot about the steel as much as just the design and overall fit and feel of the knife. So you still can find those D2 steel models on the secondary market, maybe on Amazon every once in a while, and on eBay. Those go for about 100 to 110, and then the 1095 versions go for right around 70 to 80 bucks. So either way, they're great blades for the steel. But let's go ahead and jump on into this blade design here. Great blade, really awesome belly. I love just this. It's nice and thin. You know, it's about 1.5 inches thick this way, width-wise, and just great blade design, razor sharp, has held an edge really well, and you can really get in there and do your detailed work, do your slicing, doing your gutting if you had to, as well as your fighting tactical, because it's got a great piercer, great stabber. Even though it is a drop point design, you can definitely use this in a tactical format. And I know the serrated version was given to our military for a while. I don't know what branch. I believe it was maybe the paratroopers. For a while was issued to them. I don't know if it still is, but this is a great tactical knife if you're looking for that as well. So let's just go ahead. We're going to take a look at how the detailed stuff goes. All right, everybody, here we go. Here's the detailed work of the TAC 1. You know, this is a very sharp edge to it, even with hard use. Done a lot of batoning, a lot of different stuff. It's going to bite in really well, and I can do some very easy feathering tasks, detailed work with the edge on this TAC 1. So for your detailed work, it's going to do a great job. You can see there, feather stick, nice and easy. Flip it over, do some more. Just that easy work, really comfortable. I mean, I'm not putting any pressure on this. And you know, I'm not using that kind of, it's not really a finger choil. I can kind of choke up there if I had to, if I really want to get detailed, get really thin stuff. If I wanted to, it's not going to really damage my gloves or anything. I wouldn't be doing this barehanded, putting my finger in that kind of groove, but if I had to, I could choke up like that and keep going and getting those feather sticks going. So then going out to the more shaving tasks, it's really easy to do that. You can just see there, boom, I mean, all day long. And the handle is just, again, very comfortable to me, much better than the Afghan Bush and much better than the Rat 5 when it comes to the thickness of the handle. Look at that, man. I'm just all day long. I can just sit there and do that. That handle fits much more comfortably in my hand than, say, some of the other larger Ontario knives. So thumbs up to the detailed test of the TAC 1. So as you can see, that detailed work is really awesome. Going to do really good on that small feathering, fire prep, you know, the detailed skinning if you had to skin like a squirrel or a fish or something like that, you know, gut a fish. It's going to do that type of stuff well, and I believe as well as that, you know, piercing, stabbing, tactical type of fighting if you had to save your life, definitely. Let's go ahead. The thickness of the spine is really nice. It's just over 3/16 inch thick. So it's 0.19 inches, so it's just a hair over 3/16. So that's really nice and thick. Even though it's got that full flat grind, which I love, and it's going to, you know, slice through stuff really well, it's still thick enough that it's going to baton. I mean, if you can span it with the blade, you can baton it. So anything that is about probably, I would say, 3.5 inches, maybe 4 inches wide piece of wood or less, you're going to just split right through because it's got that really nice thick spine and it's just going to do that well. So let's go ahead and check out the batoning, see how the batoning goes. All right, everybody, here's the TAC 1 doing some batoning. You know, with that 0.19 inch thick spine, it's going to baton really well. If you can span it, basically, it'll baton it. And that's what's really nice about this little knife is even though it's only 4.5 inches long, the blade, it's going to be able to split wood, big pieces of wood, with relative ease. You can just see there, you can just take it in sections. And like I said, I mean, if you can span it, you can split it. Check that out. Then you just go to town, get your little kindling going. Yeah, so this TAC 1 is a great little batoning knife that'll do any sort of medium batoning. You know, it won't split as fast as, say, a BK2, but it's almost got the same blade length as a BK2, your Rat 5, your Afghan, Bush, you know, your RD4, all those type of knives. This TAC 1 does a great job when it comes to splitting and batoning wood. Thumbs up for batoning with the TAC 1. So as you can see there, great for batoning. Splits wood really well and will prepare kindling for you if you need to prepare some kindling. Let's go ahead and go on to just how it kind of feels in your hand. Right here, you know, got this kind of blank finger choil. It's not quite big enough. I mean, I can with my finger, if I don't have a glove on, I can kind of get it in there. I don't know why they did that. I really wish they would have just brought the edge almost all the way here. I don't really know why they did that because it's too small for my index finger. If I have gloves on, I can choke up there if I really had to and do that detailed stuff, but that's kind of goofy to me. But other than that, this handle feels really good in my hand. You can see there, I wear large size gloves, regardless of I'm holding it in a reverse grip, you know, normal, fighting style, whatever, however I'm going to do it, this is going to feel really, really good in my hand. Fits my hand well with those, and I wear large size gloves, like I said. That palm swell is really nice. My micarta is great. Feels really good in your hand. And what I love is the fact that it's a lot thinner. The handle's way thinner than, say, the Afghan Bush or Rat 5, you know, or the Ranger knives, and I really like that. It's got a slimmer profile, just fits in my hand better, feels better in my hand. And I just want to kind of show you some different cuts, pull cuts, chest pulls, and just, you know, how it feels in your hand when you're sitting around the campsite and you're preparing, you know, a spear or, you know, a tent peg, or just doing whittling, notching, you know, maybe doing a trap, making a trap. The handle is going to feel really good in your hand, and you're not going to fatigue quickly when you use the TAC 1. All right, everybody, here's some cutting with the TAC 1 just around the campsite. I've heard a couple people complaining that it feels uncomfortable in the hand with, you know, long periods of use, and they can't really find a good grip on the knife, and I would probably have to disagree with that, just because regardless if I'm doing this reverse type of grip, this feels very comfortable in my hand with this Ontario TAC 1. Very nice and smooth, very easy to do, and I can just do this all day long. It's not hurting my hand. And then if I go back to just the normal push cuts, I mean, you can just see how I'm just tearing through that wood, and it doesn't feel uncomfortable in my hand, or, you know, it's not fatiguing my hand as I'm going to town and using the knife in these type of, you know, just slashing, cutting, pushing. You know, it's not going to wear out your wrist, and you know, it's just going to feel good in your hand. I wear large size gloves, and that palm swell fits perfectly right there in my hand. You know, that blank spot doesn't really do a good job for finger choils. I mean, you can kind of do it if you want to. It's not bad. And if you want to kind of maybe file that down just like a third, I don't know, less than a quarter of an inch, just kind of get that edge out of there a little bit. You could kind of even choke up a little bit more if you wanted to. So, I mean, it does great around the campsite and isn't going to fatigue your hand like I've maybe heard some other people say, or you might be worried or wondering. And I wear large size gloves with plenty of room to spare. So all those different types of styles of cuts, you're going to get a lot of work done with this TAC 1 around the campfire. So as you can see there, definitely great. I mean, feels really good. I've heard some people complaining, oh, it doesn't fit my hand well, I can't find the right spot. I disagree. This is, out of all the Ontarios that I've handled, this is probably the best handle that I've ever held, from the Rat 3 to the Afghan, the Rat 5, Rat 7, some of the RD models. This just feels really good in my hand, and I love it. It just feels really nice. It is a little bit handle heavy, like we said. The weight distribution is right about there. See if I can catch it there for you guys. You can see it right there. That's about where the weight distribution is. So it's a little bit handle heavy, but they give you plenty of real estate so you can back up here if you're doing some just light chopping. And then if you're doing heavy duty chopping, as long as you got a good lanyard, and you grab it in here like this, you can do some really good chopping. And I was really surprised. It weighs 10 ounces. So that's a little heavy for a blade of this size, 4.5-inch blade. But with that weight, it's going to do a great job for you doing a lot of chopping. Well, let's just kind of see how well it chops through about a 3.5-inch tree that has fallen, and we're going to hack at it.
Okay, everybody, here we go. The hacking test with the TAC 1. This weighs 10 ounces, so that's a little bit hefty for such a little blade, but it definitely has a little bit more of a handle weight to it. But you can definitely do some minor chopping, hacking, if you had to. You can see here, boom, hacking it off pretty easy. Biting into wood without too much trouble. Oop. So you can see it's definitely getting, biting in there. I mean, it's not ideal. This isn't what you really want to be able to do with a knife of this size, but if you had to in an emergency situation, or whatever, this TAC 1 is definitely going to be able to chop through. This is about a 3-inch piece of wood here, hard pine, without too much difficulty. When you're doing that, you definitely do. You can see there, we're at probably about a minute, and I've gotten about halfway through. The edge is still nice and strong, no chipping, rolling, or anything else like that. Edge is doing really well. You definitely want a lanyard on this though, because as I'm hacking, the knife is coming out of my hand, which is going to happen with most knives. As you're doing this type of chopping and hacking, it slides out. You can see there, if I didn't have a lanyard, it'd be flying out of my hand by now. So you definitely want to make sure you got a lanyard on if you are going to be doing some hacking and chopping like this, or you think you might have to. You definitely want a lanyard. But very impressed overall. 10 ounces, you got a little weight. You definitely chopped through that piece of wood there. So, chopping test, not bad for a 4.5-inch blade with the TAC 1.
So there you go. Overall, for the size of the knife, a great backpacker knife, great tactical knife, I think. If you're over in Afghanistan or Iraq or, around the world defending your life and you need a good, smaller blade. Really quick to the sheath. Going to bust through it here really quick if I can. Nylon, pretty borderline bogus. You got MOLLE strap back here, paracord and holes down there. Belt loop, really lightweight, which is good. Nothing on the front here. You got like the plastic insert. Boom, slide it in left or right. One button lashing. And you can see there I can definitely pull out some of the handle. I definitely would not be carrying it upside down like this on my pack or something. The sheath is borderline bogus. I really wish Ontario would step it up. They make great knives, really crappy sheaths. So the sheath, pretty much bogus. I would highly recommend for you either making your own Kydex sheath like what I did. I love this sheath, works great. Or you can get them online if you're just not good at Kydex, or you don't have the time to invest in making a Kydex sheath for it. You can get them on eBay for around about $30. You can get a really good Kydex sheath, and I believe that this knife is worth the investment. This is my favorite 4.5-inch knife that I'm going to say it, that I've ever held. The TAC 1 is my favorite so far. So hopefully this helps you guys out. Thanks for watching, everybody. Grab a TAC 1. You won't regret it. Stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.